Hey, what is up, Bridging the Gap crew? It's Devin here. How's it going? You know, it's been way too long. The summer has been hot, wild, and crazy, wet.
Long one.
It's been wet the past couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, that was crazy, wasn't it?
Bro, it was like a 2 weeks straight of rain. Like we had one good day, and it was like a Monday, and then after that it was just rain and rain and rain. It was gloomy.
And it came down too one day.
You would have thought we lived in Seattle.
Flood. They said something about a flood.
Oh, there was floods. There was floods everywhere.
Yeah.
Flash flood. There's flash floods.
Flash.
No, I said fash. Like fashionable floods. No, flash floods. Like just like it would be raining for a couple of seconds and just be like, shoom, like there'd just be water on roads, like taking people's houses out.
Yeah, it was
drowning.
People drowning.
No, it was people drowning.
People on a boat. I would have definitely brought the boat out if I was out like in the country area, and I was a lot like and it flooded pretty much, and I could go out with the little fishing boat. I would do it, or a canoe or something, just for fun. So, yeah, pretty much. We've been gone for a little bit, but we're back at it. We had some stuff we had to take care of. You know how that goes.
Yeah,
just like that sometimes.
Yeah, and we talked about it. That's pretty much going to be our schedule here for the future. Having a summer break and everything, and taking a couple months off here and there, and just so we can keep the stuff fresh, and we're not just breathing down your neck all the time. Sometimes,
Right.
And also gives us time to recuperate and think of ways we can improve on the show and everything else. So, that's where we're at with that.
Last thing, pretty much we did. What was it? The Hoop Fest thing. Excellent job, job on that, bro. That was great. Narrative, story told. That was great. We got a lot of views from that. Thanks for the support on that, guys.
Yeah, especially shout out to the Hoops Fest, the actual people that run that there in Tyrone that shared our video, and they really supported the video and enjoyed it. It was crazy, like I said, like going down there and watch all these people play basketball, and it really does show you like how big of a basketball town Central Pennsylvania is, more so than like a football place, which is sad, because like when you think of Pennsylvania, you said you think of it as like a football state.
Oh yeah, football.
But it's crazy. It's like Central Pennsylvania, like people aren't as big on football as they are basketball. Like everybody's out here like, oh, I can play basketball.
And that's weird because you got the best college. My squad, PSU, right there.
Yeah, right. But it's funny is I think most of the players that are like in Pennsylvania that play like that are big on football, like the areas, they're all in like the outskirts of Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
like,
they come from up around Pittsburgh.
Like the Scranton up here area, and then like down here the Philly, the Pittsburgh, and then up here you got like Erie and stuff. Like all those areas surrounding Pennsylvania, like the big football, towns, and then like the middle of Pennsylvania, just like. Yeah. They like football, but they like. I think they got obviously an affinity towards basketball more. Although we went that Hoops Fest, there's people from what? Maryland,
Baltimore, New York. That
Who,
one girl was from New York,
which
she shot. I think for the contest, she shot for the contest. She said she was from New York.
Okay.
There was people from everywhere. They were from the one guys that had the matching suits. Or the matching gear.
Yeah, matching gear.
They were from down in Harrisburg, so people came from all over the place.
Yeah, the Venom.
Yeah,
Venom guys. Yep.
People came from all over the place. We followed a great team. Troy actually won the dunk contest. Then
lost the dunk contest. If you haven't seen our coverage on it, go check it out. But yeah, Van Troy goes up and he's like, man, we're like, you won? And just as we thought he won, they were like, wait a second, wrong tie.
We got a tie going on.
Yeah, and I feel bad because, Troy, I really wish I would have looked at you because I thought of it after it happened. I should have laid down on the ground with my camera and had him jump me to dunk it.
I knew that we had to cut. We should have did something. We should have said, "Hey, do this," because I knew once they get the guy that won, he was from Baltimore.
Yeah, and all it was, and it wasn't even super impressive dunk. He just jumped over the kid,
and that was enough.
Yeah, and realistically, anybody could have done it, but it was enough to be like, because people were like, "Wow, look at that," you know.
Yeah, it was a good time.
And also, too, Van Troy's windmill on that last one was weak. I'm sorry, man. I can't dunk, but I gotta judge you a little bit.
He was doing a dunk just to get by.
Yeah, really. Because I think he just scraped the bottom of the barrel because he slammed it down. That's what I liked about his dunks, where they were so authoritative. He was
powerful. Dude broke the rim. That was funny.
Yeah,
that was dope. You got a nice shot of that.
Oh yeah,
very nice. We were right under the rim for that one.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and your little guys from out your way, they won, right? They won a championship. That's good. We followed the girls. I was watching those girls all day. They were balling.
Yeah.
They balled all.
Well, hell, they played the other ones that they played, those the Creta girls or whatever, the Incredibles, whatever they were. It was funny, they were also like really good, and they were playing each other basically all day. So like that last game of the day, it was just like the rematch. It was like it'd be like the Steelers and the Ravens playing in a wild card game in the playoffs or something, because they see each other twice a year, then they're there again in playoffs.
Yeah.
So
yeah, speaking of football, just got the Hall of Fame game just passed, so pre-season's underway.
Yep, exactly. So
how you guys looking down there?
Raider Nation, we're looking pretty good. I'm not gonna say, like I said, me personally, I have a lot of question marks. Mm-hmm. So because as a football fan, when you're a fan of a team where they were so bad for so long, mm-hmm. You got a lot of proving to do from the organization. Like you're really you know what I mean, like you really scrutinize the team, and you're very honest with it. And I'm sitting here looking at the defense, and I'm like, there's a lot of question marks. But we added a lot of players over the offseason from Tahir Whitehead, which even if he's not a day one, game changer, he's solid starter. So, mm-hmm. That's better than what we had at linebacker last year, which was a circus of fifth-round draft picks and undrafted free agents playing there. And then we've got Navarro Bowman, which if we still could...
Navarro's still there? I thought
he's gone. I don't think we were going to re-sign him yet. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I would like that, because if we got Navarro and Tahir Whitehead and Markel Lee and all them, surrounded by two good linebackers, that's going to be beneficial. And you got Khalil Mack, of course, and mm-hmm. that's the biggest story of camp, is he's holding out, and he's still holding out, and they're still not paying him. And that's
what is he at? I'm not.
It's contract year.
Yeah, so they didn't disclose what he actually asking for, right?
No, they have no idea what he's actually asking for,
right.
And they're ballparking. He's being paid basically the best defensive end money in the game. So he's a top 4 defender in the league, So
everybody's trying to get the Todd Gurley. That I talked about this on the Coach's Corner.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Gurley, him and Le'Veon Bell, they just changed the whole value of the running back now.
Yeah.
So
and Saquon. They
Saquon too. Yeah, Saquon did. They did an excellent job, because, to me personally, I think the running back should be paid pretty high, because they're taking hits almost every.
I wouldn't even say it's the hits, but it's also the amount of the usefulness in the offense, and also they're the outside the quarterback. They're the second highest person to see the ball, because sometimes they catch it and they run it, and then sometimes they catch it.
Right.
Which wide receivers don't do that. They just catch it.
They just catch
it. And when they catch it, they barely really run with it, because they catch it and then they're tackled right away.
Yeah, you just get tackled or you out of bounds or whatever. Yeah, it's just, I think that they're going real hard at the values, and I think some people are just, it might hurt some teams where people are going to sit out, like you said, with Khalil Mack. They can't get him signed out. What is he going to do? Is he going to show up, or is he just going to stay out?
Oh, he's still staying out. And I was sitting there thinking about it too, about Khalil and everything that's going on. They're talking about potential trades, if there were any ideas for a trade. And I love Khalil Mack to pieces. And I have people that are friends of mine that know I'm a Raiders fan, and they are Raiders fans as well.
Right.
And I know they're going to be pissed when I say this, but I'm okay if they decided to trade him, because
it is what it is.
Because if you can't pay them, and I think it's a better move, because like me and you talked about in our podcast when we talked about NFL players being overpaid.
Mm-hmm.
We think me and you kind of agree that, overpaying people isn't the best way to build a team, because you have other positions you have to address.
Right.
And, we did sign, Tank Carradine and everybody else, so if Mac left at end this season or whatever, it would be a bummer.
It'd be
a bummer, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But we would have to take that hit. And there was potential trades that people were thinking about, like Earl Thomas from the Seattle Seahawks, trade Khalil Mack, get Earl Thomas on a 3rd-round pick for Khalil Mack. And even though Earl Thomas is, people were saying he's brittle, I said Earl Thomas could still play some
brittle
because he got hurt last year.
He's a missile.
I know, and that's what I said. I was like, but I would still like Earl Thomas, because you have Earl Thomas over the top, free safety, and he's trying to get a deal too, another contract. And I would say that Earl Thomas would get paid. We would have to pay Earl Thomas if we wanted to sign him and keep him.
Yeah.
We would have to pay him less than we would have to pay Khalil Mack.
Because of the... Are they saying, is it because, I talked about that too, is it because of that they have categories and they pay, is it the DN gets more?
Yeah, DNs, pass rushers get paid more than the people that pick off balls.
Okay.
And I think that's just a fact, because if you're sacking a quarterback, I mean, you're getting paid 5-year $1 million deals, $100 million deals. And if you're like the secondary players, I mean, it depends. I don't know what the best contract ever was for a secondary player, to be honest with you, but
I think that's where it's going.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to start getting
paid. NBA, Major League Baseball, hockey, they all pay by performance.
Mm-hmm.
NFL pays category.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think that's just stupid.
Yeah. I mean, if you got one of the best free safeties in the game and everything else. But also, like we said, the unintended consequence of that is going to be that people that never get a chance in the NFL are going to start getting to play because the people are wrapping up more money in these big-time players.
Right.
And then they got to start, well, we don't got money to pay these other dudes that we, solid starters. What are we going to do? Well, let's go give, this undrafted free agent a chance, And then he ends up being like the next Tom Brady or something, which that's cool.
Great. Yeah. Or you get a shot.
Or you're going to just see teams that have a lot of teams will start having weaknesses, a lot of places they can expose or something.
And I think that's why I like the man down, man up philosophy.
Yeah.
I think you should always go in like, I gotta make sure there's a backup for a backup. You know what I mean? So you're ready to go.
Right, because there's teams like the Browns they had a quarterback circus where maybe it was last year, the year before when Robert Griffin went down and they brought another guy, and then he went down and they had to bring in another guy.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, what are you even gonna do in that situation?
Right, you just gotta find a way through it, and that's what makes the Patriots so good. People say Spygate, cheat, all that. Every team cheats.
Yeah.
Every team, if you give them opportunity to cheat, they're going to cheat. So, but they're so good at saying, okay, and the Steelers are too. We don't really pay anybody.
Yeah, and that's the truth.
We just get them and say, hey, you're next up. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're next up. It's your shot right now. Go out and do it. So.
Well, I'm just saying too. Like I always bring up the thing about Madden when I play it. Mm-hmm. I have the same mentality as those GMs because I keep players, even the young players. I always like having more young players that are really good, and then. What happens is when they want that big money, I let them go. I say, you know what, go be productive with somebody else.
Right.
And I go and I'll draft another rookie or I'll sign another free agent guy or I'll find another young free agent that has similar skill sets or, just a little bit below par and put him in there and say, all right, you're my new guy now, and develop him.
So what are the people saying, like, for my situation up in Pittsburgh, Le'Veon Bell's situation, mm-hmm. They're eating him alive. Saying get rid of him, trade him. What is Raiders fans saying about Khalil Mack?
Sign him.
They're saying sign him. They're not saying
because we understand Khalil Mack's perspective on it. I mean, he's been one of the best defensive ends in football he's been like he was in the Pro Bowl for 2 different positions 2 years ago. He was best linebacker or one of the best outside linebackers and best ends in the game. They gave him those props in the Pro Bowl. He's made the Pro Bowl pretty much every year that he's been in the league. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's quite an accomplishment. I mean, if there's anybody that you could look at definitively and say he needs paid in the defensive world of football, Khalil Mack would be one of those guys. And like I said, I want him paid. But on the same side, I understand the business aspect of the NFL. So I understand, well, if you can't pay him, then let's get something for him now. Right. And get this over with because if we're not going to pay him,
depending on how they move with that, I mean they might get rid of him.
Right.
Coach up there knows what he's doing, and he's done moves like that before in the past when he coached before.
Yeah,
where he'll let somebody go. Yeah.
People are mad. And some people don't like Chucky because he's kind of no nonsense. But I mean, at the same time, it's something you need there in the locker room. And
you gotta have a coach that's not going to be in there with his fucking head down. He's got to be in the mix, like, this is how it's going. And that's very hard to do, even at a kid's level. At little kids, it's hard to keep those guys focused and not me. Yeah. So in the NFL, those people's egos are out of here. So you need somebody like Coach to do that.
So the camp for you, how's camp going? I mean, I saw Ryan Shazier walk across the field, which is a good thing.
Yeah, that was excellent. That was great. I was happy to see that. And I think they did a class move. They redid his contract and gave him a signing bonus instead of.
So he got front-loaded money essentially.
They just gave him the money up front, which I think was class act of the rookies to do. So. Yeah. We're doing all right, I guess. I watched a couple of interviews. I really like Mason
Rudolph. Yeah,
I really like.
Tell you what, we'll do this for both of us here. Give me 2 players in camp that you think are going to be, game changers this season, and then give me 2 players that you think are just, are going to fall off and be gone.
I think probably the 2 people that are going to make a big difference are James Washington, the receiver. He's going to get a lot of looks.
James Washington.
And I also think they drafted Marcus Allen. I think he's going to play a lot and be up at the line to help with the run. He's an excellent run stopper. You spent 4 years chasing Saquon around the field up at Penn State.
Yeah.
Now you got to deal with Bell. So he's going to be, I think he's going to make a good one. And the 2 people that I think Eli Rogers, like they brought him back, but I think he's going to.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is he went to the Raiders actually the week before the Steelers re-signed him to try out, and he didn't get signed there. And then he came back to the Steelers, and the Steelers were like, all right, well, I guess. I mean, and I guess there's always a value in a player that was in a system. Mm-hmm. There's always a value in that because if you have someone that was already there, then it's less time you have to spend teaching or anything like that because you can just go, okay, well, you did this before. You know what this is.
Yeah, you can plug. You can come in and you say, you know what you're getting, basically. You don't have to walk them through everything.
It's not like guesswork, they just, he understands stuff,
It's nice to have those players.
Yeah. And then then like the rookies, I mean that's even if Eli's not out playing, he could be like on the bench with the guys that are younger in case someone goes down. He's like this is what happens if this happens. Like this is what you do here. He can talk you through the playbook. So I see value in that. But you're right, he's not gonna wow. I don't think Eli Rogers is gonna wow anybody because he went to other people's camps and tried to get signed and he couldn't because he didn't wow nobody.
I think they picked him up for the right move. Utility. They needed a utility guy that they can just plug in while the younger guys are learning the system. You ain't got Bryant no more. You guys got him over there. So,
so for me, the 2 players, like I said, I don't always go off rookies. It could be people that have been on the roster for 2 years and they're flaking off. The 2 people that are going to make a big impact, in my opinion, are Jordy. Jordy's going to make a big impact this year.
Think?
Because
or is he just going to be average?
He's going to make a big impact because the connection between him and Derek Carr, as I've been told and I've been watching and people talking about it, like people that are viewing the camp and John Gruden, everybody is saying him and Jordy Nelson are going to be, like they're going to be like this, like he's in love with Jordy Nelson. Like it's a.
So he's going to get his numbers up.
Yeah, and he likes, and honestly, he's always liked possession receivers that, you know what I mean? Because Michael Crabtree, King Crab, he was just the same exact way in a different sense because he wasn't really fast, but Michael Crabtree was a possession receiver. Like, he would come down with the ball and that jump ball when you needed it, and I mean, he had a lot of drops, but like whatever you needed to catch.
Didn't Cooper have a lot of drops too?
Yeah. And that's something that's got to be changed because I've watched games, like there was one game where like I just saw it looked like they had just gone to see the newest movie that come out because they must have seen The Incredibles or something and they were just dipping their hands in the popcorn and then just walked out to the game like, all right, just did that.
Let's go do it. Let's go try to catch some balls. Yeah, that sucks when the receivers repeatedly drops a ball. That is like the most annoying thing ever.
Oh my God, yeah, you know what I mean? Because like, why did I even bring you in here? Especially if it's wide open. I mean, I know from my own experience, I've dropped balls and stuff, and I'll just be like so mad. I'm like, why? Like, it's so easy. And sometimes it's not even that you didn't look it in. It's just like that you just hit your head, and when you thought you closed in, it just bumped out this way or that way, and you're like,
yeah. It's one of those things that happens. Sometimes you just do it.
Oh, it irritates you. I know. But but he really does appreciate those guys. Another guy I think that's going to make an impact. Well, tell you what, I'm going to go to a guy who's not going to make an impact. I'll flip-flop here. Mm-hmm. And that is Jalen Richard. Because he's that running back that we had. He had that three-headed backfield when we had Latavius, Jalen, and DeAndre Washington. Mm-hmm. Jalen Richard was like the playmaker. Like if you ever just needed a random play made, he would do it. Mm-hmm. DeAndre Washington was kind of like the pass-catching back. And Latavius Murray was just kind of like the workhorse, you know. So like if you need a big play, Jalen Richard would come in, and he made big plays last season. Problem is this offseason, he's been he was ill, and then he's missed a couple practices because of I think a shin injury. And then what happened was you got Doug Martin, who was really impressing, I guess, at this camp. Which
I forgot that guy.
And that's who my number 2 good guy is going to be is Doug Martin. Mm-hmm. But they got Doug Martin there at camp now, and Marshawn and Doug Martin, I mean, they're already going to take up a bulk of the carries, and DeAndre Washington's still there, which he actually offers something that Jalen doesn't, which is that pass catching, that shifty ability out of the backfield.
Yeah, you need one of those.
Yeah, and I mean, and you're not proving you're making a playmaker point because Doug Martin's out beating you right now because he's out in camp. And, you know, if you can't keep healthy and you're in a three-headed backfield already, there's not enough room for all of you back there, you know?
And I think that's the trend, too, that's happening. Like, you could keep somebody like Marshawn. Marshawn is, you want him on the field.
On the field, yeah.
Because he'll go out there and make some shit happen. But you don't want to overuse him now. He's at that age, you know what I mean? He doesn't want to be overused. Well, we got something going on.
I'm looking to see if you're on screen. I can't tell. You on screen? Oh, yeah, you are. Okay.
So, yeah, I think that's the trend that's happening. They're going into using the three-headed
backfield. Yeah, and it just gives you variety and different ways to use them, you know? Like, you're not going to see, I mean, unless you're like the Cowboys who use like one running back like all season, like Zeke or whatever. But I think you're going to see the trend of, you know, the numbers of running backs going down because they're constantly, there's certain teams that are just going three-headed backfield where they just take, well, we'll pay each one of these guys whatever, and they kind of have their own little niche that they do for the offense.
Which I think is the way to go. Like, if I got you on the bench and I'm paying you, I'm going to use you.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to use you. Something like that's where the Steelers failed a lot. Because if Le'Veon Bell goes down, like, I love the kid from Erie, James Conner.
Yeah.
I love him, but I just don't think he's an everyday down back. I don't think he can take that pounding like that. You know what I mean? They said he, you know, got some weight in and stuff like that. So, but we don't use a lot of backs. It's just give it to Bell.
Yeah, and I know in seasons past where he's gone down or suspended, and then, they just signed some free agent like D'Angelo Williams or, you know.
D'Angelo did a great job, by the way.
Yeah, when he came in.
He excellent career for that guy, class act. Him and the guy who they just traded him from down in Carolina. That was interesting. I forgot where he went.
Jonathan Stewart.
He
went to the Giants.
The Giants. Okay, so he's up there. He's got Saquon in the backfield. So their Giants are going to turn their season around too. I feel that. Who do you think's going to turn their whole shit around?
Just by going off of camp, who's going to turn the whole season around, huh? I got to look at the teams that were the worst last year. I want to say, just because, I mean, it just makes so much sense to me, the Giants.
The Giants?
It's because they went and did all these things. The only thing I have my question about is the quarterback play.
Yeah.
Just because
was Eli just having a bad one, or is
he's regressing? I really do think he's regressing. But also they were only a season removed from a 12-4 or 11-5 season, so you can't really.
Odell went down.
And and that season, last year, like I said, they had no weapons. I mean, they had literally Sterling Shepard was gone. Odell was gone. Like, basically, and they didn't even ask him to come. Like, Sterling could have came back, and they basically were like, "Don't even come back." They're like, because we want you to heal up. Might as well, because like this season's already a wash.
Yeah.
At this point.
So you're thinking of Giants? I think, honestly, I'm gonna cover the Bears throughout the year because I think that's an interesting thing they got going on down there. But to be honest, the best team that I think that's been, you know, terrible for a couple of years. They started to pick up once they made that trade. Is the 49ers.
49ers?
I think they're going to do some real damage this year. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, Jimmy G was pretty good. So I mean, and now
now you got experience. Now you're okay. Let's go. Now we got some. I think they got some pretty good weapons too.
Yeah, and I see Colin Cowherd said they're a dark horse Super Bowl candidate, which is kind of crazy to me because I'm like, wow, that's a pretty bold one right there.
Yeah, that's a bold one. I think they're going to do some damage though. I like it. Like same thing with Aaron Rodgers. He sat behind Brett Favre all those years, and when he came in, he just, you know, like he didn't. There was no learning curve for him. He just came in and did what he was doing. So I think that's because he sat. So I think Jimmy G is going to be the same.
Kind of like Tom Brady, where he just sat
there, learned. Then now you get your shot.
You get to apply it. And I mean, they paid him like
a hell of $5 million.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about on that podcast we did a long time ago. That about Jimmy G's contract, because we were like baffled that they literally paid him like he was like a really good starting quarterback. Now, we don't know how much money they guaranteed. I think it was $85 million, but he still paid him like stupid money for
Matt Ryan just got one.
Whew. Yeah. Oh.
And now they're gonna have to pay Aaron. So Aaron's probably gonna be the richest. He's gonna have the richest contract.
Yeah, guaranteed. I mean, that's how it goes.
It is. You know, I'm just glad it's back. Football's back.
Man,
Pad popping time.
Because I get tired of watching all these other sports, and they just don't do it for me. Like there's nothing really entertaining to them, and I hate. Sorry, soccer people. Like, I can't get into it. Like, I can't. Like, tennis.
People go crazy for that soccer.
Tennis, golf. Like, after learning how to play golf and stuff, I appreciate the sport more, but I don't enjoy watching it. Like, it's something you do. Like I said, like baseball, don't like watching baseball. I enjoy playing it. Like, you play baseball, I enjoy playing it, but I can't watch you.
I would only time I think I'm a Pirates fan if we went said, hey, let's go out spend the afternoon and watch the game.
Wait,
you do something like that, but to turn it on the TV,
no. Like that's what I said. Turn on a TV is different from going to an actual game.
Yeah.
Because when you go to the game, it's like you're a part of it, and you're like when you're watching it, like you're not really like waiting for something to happen. You could be there on your phone, or you could be eating food, talking. Yeah. It's just like a nice background or atmosphere to hang out in.
Slow game.
But I mean, when you're in a football game, bro,
it's all balls to the wall.
It's everything. It is the whole entire thing that you're there for.
I love it, yo. It's just the best time of the year for me. I get excited when fall time come back and they start kicking the ball off, and that's coming up. So, everybody, I hope your team. I hope you're not on Steelers schedule. You guys, because we're gonna get you.
Oh, let's go, baby. We're ready for it.
Well, we gotta do something for that game, bro.
I'll tell you what. We play the later part of the season. Mm-hmm. By week 5, I'll be able to tell you if it's going to be a good game or not. Because I'll let you. Because if I see John Gruden and everything, I'll be like, bro, it's going to be a raping. Because you know what I mean? Like I'll be like, the Steelers got it down packed. Or who knows? We might go into week 5, someone gets hurt, like Ben goes down or something, and that could just be.
Don't say that.
That could just be a season ruined.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy. But that's what happens. Injuries pop up, and you got to deal with it.
Yeah. And
every team suffers them in some form.
I mean, Derek Carr's been playing with like broken backs and like crazy, like broken fingers and all kinds of stuff recently. And like that's like in our 12-4 season, that's what he broke his leg, and we were like, no, we could have went to the Super Bowl. They were literally saying
sucks.
They were literally saying we could have beat the Patriots and been like one of the first teams to go and claim the AFC that year, and we freaking that was a bummer. But
it happens. Injuries, bro. It happens.
Yeah. All right, so guys, we're going to move in here to the bare bones of our discussion today. We're talking about the Chicago bloody night, shall we say, the violent night, the bloody weekend, because in the past 2 days, over this past weekend, what was August 5th and 4th?
4th, 5th.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday.
And they said one this morning too.
Yeah, and this morning.
Yeah.
People have been just dying in Chicago. Various shootings, from what I could tell, in the they said the southern region of Chicago. I'm not sure what exactly that is.
Right.
But people are getting killed. And one shooting took place in an area where they were having a vigil or some kind of party in remembrance of someone who died in a shooting.
Right.
And this was obviously committed by some kind of gang. So.
Yeah, you got 53 shootings in 2 days is horrible. It's
right.
A war zone.
Yeah, if you haven't heard the numbers, that's 53 people wounded and 10 dead. 10 people are dead in 2 days in this city.
Now, this is something that we talked about. I think I've said this before, but in Chicago, this happens. Even though the chief or whatever said that things were down 30%. So that tells you a lot right there that the past years, it was bad. It was horrible. So this happens a lot in Chicago, like numbers like this is a pretty bad one, but we're saying like in 24 hours, like 20 people shot, 4 dead. This happens a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why Chicago is like that right now. I just don't understand why they're using the gun violence instead of using their hands like most other places. They try to use their hands first.
Right. I could say it could be a tainted pool of people. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've talked about there's drugs in Chicago. Not just drugs, but we looked up the education system before we got here, and it's crazy. Is about 26% of due to a census. So again, like this is all from a census. I'll post the link to where it is. But this is all information according to a census that we looked at. About 26%, according to the census, of people in Chicago don't have a high school diploma. And
right.
And when you're not even in the streets and no one's even taking care of you, like you aren't going to educate yourself or anything like that. I mean, and there's people out there like these gangs, and they pick you up when you're young sometimes. I mean, you're 14, 15, and
some places in Chicago you don't have a choice.
Yeah, and that's the
you come outside and you hop off the porch. You better align yourself with some people, because it's horrible, bro.
Yeah, because you might walk down the street and they know where you're from and blah blah blah.
That's how easy it happens. And what you did say when you have low education in the school system, I could imagine in these places, if we did pinpoint that, like we actually went there and seen it, I guarantee you the schools are shit.
Yeah. Well, we also remember we did research before this, and just in 2015 and 16, they audited these schools, the public school system, and found so many fraudulent cases of kickbacks and embezzlement. I mean, the people that run these public schools literally don't give a shit about anybody that is doing anything for the education wise. They're like, yeah, we're making money, give us this, give us that,
right.
And it shows a really bad, fraudulent system going on there. You know what I mean? Like the school system can't be too good whenever you have people that aren't even going, and then you have people people up top that are just like really in it for the money.
And the gun behind, like we watched Chief, I think that's who it was that was talking. Mm-hmm. He the way he was explaining, like, you can't blame the cops if the cops are actually like, what are they gonna do? You can't be everywhere at one time. So is it when it gets this like this? I hate to think like this, but is it time to like do it military and go in there and be like, look, what? But think about that, seeing the military.
Yeah, and I think they've been doing it because we were listening to that chief talk. Mm-hmm. It sounds like they've been doing something similar, not like in large scale, like you're thinking, mm-hmm. in smaller scale, like the surrounding area where the shooting took place. They went around and confiscated guns because that's what he said. They went and confiscated guns off people and made arrests for people that owned guns illegally just in that area. But they didn't get the guys for sure. They have nobody that they know for sure did it. They have no clue who it is that did the act, but they went and arrested people that have illegal weapons that shouldn't have them.
Yeah, it's a tough scenario, like I've been watching that go on for years, man, and people try to, and there was the whole conversation like in the last couple of years about the drill music. Is that influencing that? And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but people that come out of Chicago, it's called drill music, like Chief Keef. There was so much violence, and the music was saying that. Is that putting something onto the fire? Is it, what I mean? Putting gasoline, and I believe it is. But now you got the guys, and I shout out to these guys like G Herbo. They're all from there. They're changing Chance the Rapper. They're changing that narrative to be like, no, that shit's bad, bro. We gotta change. We gotta do something down here. So they're trying to do things. Unlike Kanye, Kanye is supposed to should be forefront in Chicago doing some stuff. Really. He should be, but he don't. So I have no respect for that. But I do respect the young guys that are doing it.
Kanye's life isn't over, so I mean, you got to think about in the latter stages of his life when he's not doing those kind of things like rapping and on tour and stuff like that. I would like to think that maybe he would go back and revisit those problems because he'll have so much money and everything else. I mean, he could do.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe he just got to get together with the right people.
But I agree with that. Music like that influences people because you grow up and me and you talk about the rap scene, the music scene, and how these lyrics and things that you say really do influence your behavior. And we even talked about how like music used to be positive. I like rap music when it talks about, even like when they're talking about their struggles, like where they lived. There's a difference between talking about how you lived in a place where people got shot every day versus embracing that you lived in a place where people got shot every day. Because like rappers will talk about their struggle with like I was walking out down the street and some guy was out there with his 9 about ready to kill me and my friend, and then a cop drove by and he ran away or whatever or something. Whatever story it is. And or like they're walking down the street and people are just handing out drugs like it's nothing, like there's broad daylight.
You're saying glorifying.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like glorifying and endorsing. I mean, there's people that glorify. There's people that like talk about it like it's a struggle, like this is real life, and they don't. It was a bad time, like it's a bad place.
Right. And this was interesting too. Because I seen an interview with him and he's been doing a lot of stuff, which is G Herbo. He said like people suffer from PTSD down there. You're saying like maybe in our life, maybe in my lifetime, I've seen a couple violent acts that really
shook you up,
shook me up. He's saying, what are you gonna do for people that's seen 21 violent acts.
In a
and
day.
like 5 of them are dead. 5 of their friends they grew up with are dead. What are you gonna, they have PTSD is what he was saying.
Yeah.
He's like, my life is different now. I'm changing my life, but I grew up in Chicago. I know what goes on there. So I think more of that is needed. These guys should probably get together more. Chance the Rapper, they say, does a lot of great work. Gave him $1 million. They said he should be mayor of Chicago, to be honest.
Well, I mean, think about, there's a guy who's mayor of his town that's a professional wrestler, Kane.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, this whole thing of, like, celebrities becoming, like, political officials and stuff like that is happening kind of now.
Right. If you do the work,
yeah,
you should be able to do it no matter what you did.
Yeah, really, or what you do or whatever.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
and just because you're in an industry that's not particularly in politics doesn't mean you have ideas of what should be done about the world. If anything, the creative mind should be the people that are in the political scope, whatever they can see ways of
thinking.
Yeah, like, all right, like, how can we move this to get this to do this?
And I think that's one of the things that they're gonna have to think out of the box to fix what's going on in Chicago. Because this has been going on. We're not thinking like, oh my God, this just happened.
No, this is like
years and years and years of this been going on. So something has to change, because I feel like, even though I'm not there and I see it, I just feel bad. We seen that interview with the girl that got killed, family, and, just think about that if you would have to deal with something like that.
Yeah. Well, think about it, too. We're compared to the New York City of the 1990s. The New York City 1990s compared to the Chicago 1990s were about the same, but then they took kind of completely different paths.
Right.
Where, like, New York went way down, and Chicago went, up.
Yeah.
And then came kind of down over the past, but not slowly though, because it comes down and spikes and it's back to the normal level.
It's a ticking time bomb, is what it is.
Yeah, because who knows? Because it might go up again.
Right.
Like just shoom.
So I hope they figure out how to fix that, man. I really do. I would hate for them to have to do something as drastic as sending in the military, but I think if you did that, if you popped up that would be crazy. It'd look crazy. But I think if they did it once, I think it would stop.
Yeah. Well, I'd say that too. Like, people just imagine just like people in like Army Humvees just pulled up,
just riding through the hood, like.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, like, you got guns, like, we're coming in to search your house for these and these and these, And
then is it like people? Like you said earlier, that was what would the NRA say?
Yeah, the NRA. I guarantee they'd be real quiet about it, because it's a contradiction. It is, because if they were to say against militarization of people going in there to take the guns of bad people away that weren't illegally got, they would be like, well, you know what I mean? Like, because they would say, like, well, they have a First Amendment right, blah, 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 they can have whatever gun they want. But then they would say, yeah, but they're kind of using them to kill people, and the military is basically there to confiscate them.
And most guns are illegal that they have. They don't. You heard the guy say that. These are illegal guns.
Legal handguns, and
they're not practicing their Second Amendment. They're running around with guns that they, bought from whoever.
But I guarantee the NRA would be quiet. And what's funny is, I bet you right now about this whole situation, the NRA is quiet. They're still not.
Yeah, they want to avoid that situation.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean. Do they even say, what about the school shootings? Did they say anything around those times, or? They
do. They make a statement because it usually pertains to rifles, and a lot of hood shootings it's more handguns.
Oh yeah,
but I mean, at the same time, when you're talking about guns in general, the NRA usually has an opinion on it. But I think it's funny whenever you have that conversation about confiscating illegal guns and everything. Like, I feel like the NRA would be quiet about it.
Yeah, they don't want to get it.
They don't want to get involved, like, talking about that Second Amendment right too much, because then they might find they might lose some credibility.
And do we believe though that that could happen? Do we really believe that the military could just?
Well, I mean, to us to think about it, it would be the smartest thing to do, because I guarantee you. Because here's the thing: we pull up that interview with that cop. Right, and there's a guy who goes, I've been fasting, which that's absolutely hilarious. I've been fasting for 23 days for 7 days apiece in Chicago.
For a week apiece.
Now listen to me, like, regardless of your religious belief or whatever, what is starving yourself for 23 days gonna do to help any fucking buddy? Like, what is it gonna do?
It's not.
And I appreciate that he came and talked to the officer. Mm-hmm. That shows me that, okay, well then do that. Show up at these press conferences and say something. Don't tell everybody that you fasted for 23 days. That literally does nothing. But anyway, he a lot of the people that were asking this police chief questions were like, what are you going to do about it? You're not doing enough. So then I feel like it would work both ways, because if you bring in a militarized force to go in there and get the illegal weapons out of there and, put a crackdown on things right away and just let it, because that's the thing, they think they can get away with it. That's what everybody's saying. And that's in that city.
In a lot of the places that are happening, the police don't come unless they're called. And they're not coming.
Yeah.
They're coming.
Yeah.
So they have to do that. So, like you said, the place is neglected, so people think that, like the guy said in the thing, the guy said in the thing that shot and walked away.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He didn't run away, he walked away.
Yeah, he walked away. So that's telling you that the police presence is not there. They're only coming, and when they come, they're coming hard. So, you can't, there's not a lot that you can do if a police officer presence isn't being seen without anything bad happening.
Yeah.
They're just there.
But then I feel like this idea that me and you have about the militarization, raid of all these illegal weapons and the like a literal crackdown, like just going through and like mandatory searching of all these people's houses for drugs and everything.
I don't think they'd be able to do that.
Right, without warrants or something. But I'm saying like
you'd have to get an intel.
But I mean,
and know what you're looking for.
But in the Obama administration, whenever martial law is enacted, they can without any.
People don't understand that we're already in martial law right now. Like right now, if something happens in Altoona, they don't have to call the president.
Yeah.
They can just send in whatever military guys and do whatever they want to do to us. People don't realize that right now, but I think they should be enforcing that in Chicago right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to be real careful.
Right. But I think, but here's the thing, like martial law, it's not like a thing where it's like being taken wrong. Like it's not a thing where like we're using martial law and abusing it to take advantage of other people. I don't think it's like that at all. It's not an oppressive, suppressive thing. It has nothing to do with it. I don't think if they went into Chicago and did that, I don't think it would, or enacted martial law and raided those houses. I don't think it would be a
It depends on how they do it, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it'd be polite where you come up the door and say, "Hey, we're about to search your house for illegal weapons."
If they go just hammer it.
Yeah,
you're gonna get outcry, bro. They say, look what they're doing to our neighborhoods. But then you gotta say, that's the problem. People don't want to look at the whole overall thing. The neighborhood is being destroyed by the people inside the neighborhood. That somebody will complain that's from outside of the neighborhood that don't have to live there to say,
yeah,
look what they're doing. Look what they're doing with their military, presence.
Yeah, but I mean. I agree. That's the way you have to do. You have to be nice. But I mean, the reason why you even come up with a military force is because if they decide that they're going to get rowdy,
it could get ugly fast.
And that's why you need like people military that are there.
And the thing is too, like, I don't think like I used to have this crazy vision of like growing up of like people that live in the woods or whatever and stay off the grid, but they, you know what I mean? They have, what do they call militias?
Militias, yeah.
There's some crazy ones, yeah. But overall, they're just saying, we don't want to, America's, the way America, we just want to do things our way, and we don't want you to take our guns.
Yeah, we don't want to interfere with anybody else. That's why we're out here. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, as long as we're not bothering nobody, that's how they think. We're not bothering nobody, you don't need to bother us. Right. You know what I mean?
So it's, now that I really know what it's about, like, I'm like, wow, these people are kind of right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they're not doing extreme shit, like being extremists, but they're just saying, we want to live like this. But in the city, it's not like that. Mm-hmm. That what their mentality and what their goal is in the city, it's like, eat, kill, or be killed, bro. Mm. And especially in a place like Chicago, like nobody's walking around practicing Second Amendment rights. We're not talking. It's not even a question of that.
For a second, I thought you said safe sex, and I was gonna be like, "No one's around practicing safe sex." I'm like, "Well, I mean, like that's up to you, man. Like, you want AIDS, HIV, whatever." But I mean, herpes, no. But
take it all.
Take it. But no. And circle back to my point. Not only would it probably fix the problem and make these people realize they can't get away with it, it would help ease the public mind that lives around there, because they realize now that like they can't look at the police officer anymore and say, "You didn't do nothing. You didn't do anything," because it's like, madam, ma'am, dude, we literally got the military, the National Guard to come in here and knock on everybody's door and then ask them politely, like, hey, we're going to come in here. Well, I mean, we are going to search your house for illegal weapons, and, like, this is what we're doing, you know.
And that would is that, like, I don't even know how America would take that.
Right. And
how would they take that?
Well, here's the thing. We already know how the media works. The media would spin it two ways. One would be like, well, they're doing a great job and everything else, which is, in my opinion, is probably the right way to look at it. And there's going to be the people that are going to try and spin it and go, look at them taking away all of our rights and blah, 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 and everything else. But I'm like, when you look at Chicago, who just had a 53 people shot and 11 dead in just a weekend, you realize there's a problem there, and it's got to be resolved. It's somehow, some way, because something's got to give. This has been years now. Cops aren't doing it because they can't get it done. And it's not because they're, either like they're down man or whatever. It's because there's things that they just can't control. And that's what the officer in the report was saying, that police chief was saying, that, it's like, you guys also got to do your due diligence and help us out. Like, you know what I mean?
And that's a whole nother story right there.
And that's what I was thinking about when I was watching about snitching.
Yeah.
And people don't do it. And, like, the cops basically look at you saying, like, well, some of you people know who's did it and who's doing what, but you don't say nothing. And people are dying.
Also, and that thing, too, that brings up a point, too. Like, it's easy for a cop to say that, or a DA or a judge or a lawyer or whatever, to say, this is your neighborhood, you should do that. But they got to live there.
Yeah, exactly.
And the person that just because you might get that person off the street, but that person has cousins, friends, family that are, why'd you tell them you know what I mean? And they're going to do absolutely nothing to help you.
Right, and they're not gonna, and those cousins and those friends, they're not gonna take it as, well, he's a bad person killing people. You know what I mean? Like, he needed to be told on. Like,
no, they're not looking.
They're looking at it like, that's my son, that's my brother, that's my cousin.
You rat it.
Yeah,
And to make it all so bad, how can the police can't tell nobody to tell on nothing, because they are the biggest, like, blue wall shit is real. You can't be a police officer and tell on another police officer.
Yeah, exactly.
Because your life could be over. They're not gonna, you know what I mean?
And
that's real.
And people even if you were right in doing what you did, and there's stories of police officers that have reported other officers, and they say about their life and how it's changed because the other officers don't trust them or anything like that.
They might not even show up for a call if you're in distress.
Yeah, exactly. Just because they're like, well, no, he'd snitch on me for something I did.
Yeah, so that right there is a hard thing to do. Like I think I talked to you about this before, saying that policing ourselves. Like in the neighborhoods that I was from, we policed ourselves. The only time that the police if somebody called them, we usually handled the situations amongst each other the best way possible amongst the community to avoid as much violence as possible. So that has to happen. We're not saying everybody should be picking up the phone and calling the police on everything that's happening. You can't do that. You have to get to the people, the elders of the community, the leaders have to get the younger ones to understand, and the younger ones have to do their part to say, you know what, we're doing dumb shit.
And you know what? And that's what we were circling back to the whole education problem we were talking about. That's part of the problem, like I said, because before they can even get into a school, they're grabbed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they're pulled in.
Right.
And, like, because you come off the porch, like you said, once you're old enough to come off that porch and you can walk the sidewalk, you're in it. You know what I mean? You're in the thicket.
You're in.
You better
you
pick a side.
Pick a side, yeah.
Yeah, you pick a side, because or else you're gonna, you know what I mean? Like, you don't got a chance, basically.
Yeah. So and it's basically that. Like, I think that is what's missing now in today's world. Like, your community where you live at, your community, it has to be taken care of by that community. They have to take pride in it. They have to take pride in checking the younger kids for playing around, or checking even the older guys that are playing around with these guns or whatever, or doing dumb shit. It's just one of those things.
Walk up to them and say, but I mean, like, how could you even look at somebody? I mean, this is why I find it hard, like, to understand, like, the whole snitching concept, like, not snitching, because, like, you know what I mean, even though you're worried for your life or something, like, it's hard to look at some guy, and then, like, that's what's crazy to me, is like these people really rationalize it that way, where they're like, oh yes, your son just killed somebody, like, killed them, he deserves to go to jail, and they're like, how can you rationalize that he doesn't deserve to go to jail? Like, if you're even his family member, like, if someone in my family killed somebody, I love them, but you killed somebody. You gotta pay your time.
I wouldn't expect anything different. Like if my kid did it or my family member did it, I mean, I have family members that kill people.
Yeah.
That are in jail. You know, that's anything in life. No matter you do any kind of crime, you get caught, you gotta go sit and pay for it.
Yeah.
You can't but this is the thing that's wrong with the system. When shooting and violences and stuff like that. You get somebody like, we'll say because this is facts that El Chapo, the guy that they got, the Mexican drug cartel, he's pumping all these guns and drugs. His organization had control of Chicago, so that's causing a lot of shit. But the system will take these people that are doing all these bad crimes and they make a deal with them for them to get other people, you know, basically pass the buck on to somebody else.
Yeah, right.
So that person really doesn't get their
trickle down economics and it's fine right there. You know, hey, these drug cartels like, tell you what, we'll cut you guys some money and then you guys can make money off catching the low petty guys.
We'll give them to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they're like, okay. And then they're like, oh, look. And then they can go in their police reports in the news and say, oh, look who we caught. You know, just petty drug thief that's doing absolutely nothing.
Right.
You know, like how you talked about the war on drugs and how dumb it can be. I mean, it's just so ridiculous.
So it is. It's like, I think the people, and it's got to be tough in Chicago to be able to get your community.
Oh, it's got to be, because if it weren't tough, then I think this problem would really start to resolve itself a lot sooner than it's not really looking like. You know,
it just sucks to see, man. When I seen that this morning, I think I seen it yesterday.
Yeah.
But I really looked into it this morning, and we did some looking at it. It's just a sad thing to see, man.
Yeah, it's a sad sight, because anywhere where you live in a city where, you know what I mean, at any given weekend, 10 people could just get shot and die. You know what I mean? In a city, like, I mean, it's not like we're talking like a state or something like that. Like 10 people can get shot and killed in cold blood or whatever it might be from some other person, you know what I mean, who in some instances have no remorse or they have no fear of the repercussions of their actions. So,
and it's usually like Nas said, usually the one that gets murdered is the cool one. So that means that like that girl that got shot, the girl might have been out at a party, but I don't think the girl did. I don't think she was like probably the target. You know what I mean? Like they were looking for her. You know what I'm saying? Or she did something for her to get that. So. And
how could we even possibly know the whole situation? I mean, I really wish. I mean, you wish you could, but I mean, that is true. I believe that totally, because the people that don't get shot, or the people that get shot, are probably the one in that argument or whatever that discrepancy was, that were probably like, you know, like, well, I'm gonna walk away from this because I'm right. You know what I mean? And that's what they did. And then they walked away, and the other person's like, no, and then got like, you know, in their head, and they were mad at themselves and for what they did or whatever that might have happened, and then what do? They take it out on somebody because they can't stand them being the right one or the one that made the right choice.
It's a gang mentality too. Like they don't care who it is. They care where you're from or what scenario it is. We can't get who we want, but we can get somebody
from there. And then and then as long as we strict grief in that community, you know, then we do our job. Which gangs are really just a smaller factional form of terrorism and nationalism. Like, you know, like, because you have your area, that's like your flag, you rep it, that's the nationalism part of it, and the terrorism's like, well, if we can't get the guy that, you know, we can't straight up look at that guy, we'll just go and get the general group of people that are from there to get them. So
yeah, it's a tough scenario. Like I said, I don't get it. I mean, I grew up in some tough, you know, situations, been around tough people, been around some real shit, but in my mind, did I never be like, I want to join something that's gonna, you know, thank God I didn't have to, but it just never in my mind did I think like, we're handling this scenario this way, you know, go get the guns.
I'd be like, excuse, like your first thing's like, wait, hold on. You didn't say guns, right?
Right.
Like, you didn't say that. Like, we're not going to kill nobody. And he's like, no, we're going to kill people.
You're right.
Like, you're like, what?
We're going to kill somebody.
To wrap it up, what do we think that Chicago, or the Chicago PD, or anybody, what Chicago should just do, what we can do as a nation, even, or anything, to help this whole situation? I mean, we already nailed the one that we really think would work, and that's, you know, like I said, a militarized.
I don't see anything besides that.
Because, and we also said too about the communities. I mean, the communities of people really got to buckle down, like the elders of that community, like you said, and they got to really buckle down. Almost got that fly. Almost got him.
He's chilling. He's part of the podcast today.
Yeah, he's part of the podcast. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they need to get down to these people, the kids and the people that are in the community doing these horrible atrocities, and say, look, like, you got to get this together because we can't be killing people anymore. Like, this is, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is the 21st century. Like, we're done with that. Like, people don't need to die needlessly. It's like, especially for your, you know what I mean, your little flag game that you guys like to play, you know?
Yeah, they gotta. It's just one of those things. They gotta change. It's gotta change from within. It's gotta change from the leaders. It's gotta change from the people that are in the public eye. Like we talked about G Herbo. I think he's doing a little Chance the Rapper. I think Kanye needs to do more. I think Chicago needs to do more. I think Obama needs to get involved in it somehow. That's just this is your city. You take pride in it.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
I know Michelle Obama did things there. I remember she went to like a church, and I don't remember all the details of it, but I know she did stuff there. So, you know, that's interesting. But you're right. Yeah, I mean, there's people that come out of Chicago that are great people, and they really need to get on it and end this stupid violence that's ending there. You know what I mean?
And those are the people that can do it, though. But the thing is the consistency part of it.
Yeah.
They could go in and get a peace day if they're in the city for a week. Peace week, and they could throw some events and they could do that. But okay, everybody's cool. People are letting shit slide right now. But the minute that's gone, and that's what I'm saying.
Well, like, I think they need to go in there for a week just so that guy can eat finally.
But in saying that, though, people should take turns. Like you should sit down. Like if it was that, like say like where I'm from back home. It's bad too, you know. We got bad, and people don't like to sit down. Everybody wants to be the chief instead of being an Indian once for the cause, for the whole, you know what I mean, the whole community. So I would think, like I said, the consistency of it. You need to get people that are from Chicago, that are in the public eye, that work hard. Get around those people that are out there working, the activists, the ones that are out in the front lines, boots on the ground. Get with them. And then find a strategic way. You know the numbers. Like, remember what the guy said? He says, like, it's no excuse because it's hot, but it usually happens when a hot day. But so they know there's a statistic around those days. So maybe people get together on those days and say, hey, come on, man.
That is a good idea. Like, doing those events during the summer and things like that. That's because, and the reason why they probably have it is because it's hot out and everybody's out walking around. People are like, I'm getting out of the house because, you know, it turns into an oven, especially if you don't have air conditioning or a fan.
And then it's, oh, guys, I see from last year that we had problem with.
Yeah, they had beef with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all right,
go get the guns.
Get the guns.
we got to get the guns. Which I think is very cowardly, but I understand we need guns to protect ourselves.
I'm saying, if you had a beef, like you said, like, I mean, handle it with your hands. Like, walk up to somebody like, hey, and then just square up.
It's go time.
But you know what was great about that, like those kind of days is like there's no cowardliness to it because you confront someone right to their face, say your beef, and then you fight, and then afterward you're like, all right, you know what I mean?
See you later.
Yeah. And
and most of the people that I got in this fights with, I'm cool. I became cool with. We were just going, you know, being idiots, but we squashed it, and then after that it was cool.
Yeah, because you were just like. Yeah, I'm not even mad about it no more. Because like you fought about it.
Remember why we were fighting?
Like after you were like, yeah, like both of you had like black eyes and like shit. You're like, bro, let's go get a beer.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's just the way it is, man. And they're gonna have to figure that out. You know, I don't know what we could do personally. Like, is there something like we
some
can
kind
support
of
or something?
Or you know, charity or whatever. But I mean, I don't even like giving to those. I mean,
no, because it doesn't go to the right place.
I'll tell you what. One day when Bridging the Gap's real big here. We'll be doing shit. We'll just be going out to places like, what's going on here? We're heading out. You know what I mean? Like we'll arrange stuff.
Would you go to Chicago now?
It would be rough, bro.
It would be crazy, bro.
But you gotta do it. You would have to. It's like that's what Bridging the Gap is. We
show up.
Listen, bro. We're that. Like you gotta think about it. They're this side and we're this side. Like we gotta get there. You know what I mean?
Right,
we can't just be like.
We're going. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do before. We're gonna try, or maybe next spring. We got a lot of things that we gotta do, like the shooting movie. We need to go somewhere and just pop up on somebody.
Pop up on somebody or something.
Something.
Yeah.
And just
I mean, something crazy. I mean, or a place where like stuff like that happens, or like or whatever. I mean,
well, I guarantee you, if I did the research, I could find somebody that would
be like, oh yes,
bring
please,
us in.
yeah, be like, come,
and
please.
Be like, they could be our guide and show us and pretty much
give us coverage. Hey, let us know if you guys would love to see us go to Chicago.
That'd be crazy, man. Well, we might. I don't know. We might go back. We might go to Erie sometime next year.
You just look at that.
I got a lot of people down there that we can.
Yeah, and just talk about life and everything.
Yeah, we'll find some people. I think we should, definitely put that on the thing.
Yeah, my buddy Nick too, Nicholas, that's in our Unprofessional Professionals. Which, by the way, if you guys do anything, creative, business oriented, anything like that, we got Unprofessional Professionals. If you want to join our page, just shoot us a message. Or anything like that. It's a group where everybody networks and betters their own skills. And if you're looking for people that have a certain particular set of creative skills, you can find that there, whether it be video editing, cartoon drawing, business, content creation, anything like that. We have people there for that. So
yeah, get there, post it.
But anyway, as I was saying, was you get those people. Oh hell, I lost my train of thought because now I did shameless promotion. I lost my train of thought. I lost it. I lost where I was going with this. Damn you, shameless promotion. Damn you, I was like...
Hey, the page is there. Go post something.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, but I was saying, if you guys feel like, you'd want us to go there and check it out, I mean, of course, and go to Erie, and we could go talk to those people about whatever's happening there, how life goes, and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll pop it. We're going to be doing a lot. We got a lot of stuff coming up. We're just going to...
Yeah, you're right, we do. Don't we have the Addicts Roundtable and stuff coming up?
Yeah, we got that. That reminds me, I got to call him.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we got? We're probably going to try to go by the school thing, the back to school thing, and maybe donate something.
Yeah, and
maybe
also
get a bag or something, book bag or something.
Yeah, and even Withers, our guy Jeremiah said about going to one of those fights. Maybe see instead of fight ringside. Yeah,
yeah, I talked to him about that the other day. He was like, "Yeah, sure, we could go do that. That would be dope, though.
Yeah.
To be at a professional fight."
Yeah, exactly. Then if you got a press pass, be there like ringside, like that'd be crazy.
I'll hop in the ring, bro.
It's like, all right, let's go.
Just start a melee, like how when fighters, sometimes it breaks out between the camps, everybody jumps in.
Yeah, you're like, all right, let's go.
And it's usually not the boxers. That are in it. It's like the training staff and all that.
Yeah, the boxers just like whatever.
Yeah, like the entourage. I'm gonna be in there on the entourage causing a melee.
All right. So, we finished this up, guys. I would like for you guys to tell us what you think the Chicago should do or what we can do as people to try and help Chicago out and understand this problem and get it fixed and resolved. Because right now it's not looking like it's going to happen anytime soon. Also, if you like the video, like I said, please leave a like. Also, comment. Let us know. Again,
share to the YouTube.
Yeah, share. And also subscribe to the YouTube channel, like I said.
We need to get those numbers up.
Yeah, and press the little bell. I mean, we really do need the YouTube subscribers up. We do like to post our stuff on Facebook, but I mean, these podcasts, the full podcasts are, they're really worth it. There's just quality content.
It's only gonna get better too. We're gonna hit that niche and just go. Like I said to you, bro, bridging the gap is everywhere. I don't know if it's because I named it that people have been saying this all the time.
It's probably because people have been using it, not thinking about how useful of a phrase it is and how much of a brand it really is.
It's everywhere, bro.
And it's everywhere, and people don't even realize they're talking about it. Right. And then whenever you start bringing it up, people are like, now that you realize like what we're trying to do, you're like, oh my god, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And you realize
everybody
how beautiful
says bridge the gap.
Yeah, right. Bridge the gap.
We're trying to bridge the gap.
or another denomination of that phrase would just be, you understand me? Do you understand?
You understand?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you understand? And it's like, yeah, everybody's trying to understand something, so it's like this makes sense. It always does.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that good shit.
Yep, agreed. All right, but as for us, that's our time. Take care of yourselves and stay beautiful. Okay. See ya. Bye.